So this is going to be my final thoughts on tonight's fight. Well, not tonight, tomorrow night's fight between Bermane Stiverne and reigning WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. As I said in an earlier video, I actually think that this fight's going to go the distance because Deontay Wilder is filled up with a lot of rage and emotion. And a lot of times when you are angry and you are trying to look for the KO, a lot of times you can't find the KO. Normally when the KO happens, it happens naturally, right? When you're setting up a punch, right? And when you make the guy, you go to the guy's body, you make him have his, keep taking his hands down to protect his body, and then you come up with a left hook because he's too preoccupied thinking about those body shots, those right hooks you're throwing to the body, that he's not even thinking about the, uppercuts, what's coming upstairs, right? Or those, those hooks, those uppercuts, right? Or even that straight right hand down the pipe. When a guy's calm and collective, he's able to make, he's able to think about strategies like that. Like, okay, let me hit him in certain spots to make him make a mistake, and then I could capitalize from that mistake. If you get what I'm saying. But when a guy goes in there with anger and he's going around saying, I'm going to KO this guy, I'm going to KO this dude, and he's just going for broke and throwing punches with bad intentions, looking for the KO, a lot of times it doesn't come. I mean, look at Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, leading up to the Robert Helenius fight, he was angry. He was, saying all this stuff about Wilder, how everyone's ducking him. And if you look at that fight, he was trying to go for the KO against Robert Helenius. He couldn't get it. He was just throwing these wild hooks to Robert Helenius. Clumsy wild hooks. Because he was angry. But, if he would have been more, calm and collective, and instead of bringing the fight to Robert Helenius, instead try and play the outboxer and force Robert Helenius to come to you and then counter him, or when you go after him, apply pressure but apply effectively, not just throw these wild shots, then maybe he would have been able to stop Robert Helenius. But when you're angry, knockouts don't come. It doesn't happen. So I predicted this fight's going to go the distance. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I get predictions wrong 24/7. It's just my opinion, though. But what's going to be significant is what happens after this fight. I hope that Wilder faces someone that I will be excited for. How I think this fight's going to play out, I think Wilder's going to do what he always does. He's going to go on the back foot and he's going to outbox Bermane Stiverne. I think he's going to break his right hand early in the fight because he's going to go in this fight with anger. And then he's going to resort to just going on the back foot and just outboxing Stiverne, and he will win a decision. And I predict after he wins, he'll call out Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte. I really hope, after this fight tomorrow, I hope, because I really don't want to see him face the winner of Eric Molina versus Dominic Breazeale. I just don't. Again, I would rather see him against Dominic Breazeale, but it would be horrible if Eric Molina pulled the upset and, he ends up fighting Wilder, because, Wilder would take that fight. But Dominic Breazeale, he's not that skillful to me, I don't think Wilder should be facing someone like Dominic Breazeale. I know that's a fight that could easily be made because they're both, promoted by Al Heyman and stuff, and they both fight in premium boxing and all that stuff. So, obviously, that's a fight that could be made, like that, right? In a snap of a finger. But I don't want to see Wilder, because Wilder would easily beat Dominic Breazeale. I don't care how much heart he has. That would be his downfall. Dominic Breazeale showing that heart will be his downfall because he has no defense. He has no defense, and he'll run right into that right hand. I'm really annoyed that Eddie Hearn is saying stuff like he's not going to make no promises or no guarantee for Wilder if he beats Deontay, if he beats Dillian White to face Anthony Joshua immediately. I don't like that, because it's like, what do you mean? Like, if you want to see him, you know, you got all these UK boxing fans saying that he needs to fight Dillian White. Well, you know, in order to like build the fight up. And I'm a guy who was saying that as well. But it's like, if you want it to be guaranteed that he'll get, if you want Wilder to actually do it, do him that, just Eddie Hearn, do him that guarantee to make him want to fight Anthony Joshua. Because if you do that guarantee where he'll immediately fight Anthony Joshua if he gets past Dillian White, then obviously he would really sign that fight. But maybe Wilder feels like, what if I fight Dillian White, I beat him, and then Eddie Hearn don't give me that fight with Anthony Joshua. So I don't like that Eddie Hearn is not like, you know, I don't like that. I don't like that Eddie Hearn is not trying to make, you know, trying to promise Deontay Wilder anything. I don't like that move. Yeah, the next year is going to be the year where, you know, because it's like every year is the thing where a lot of fans are just waiting to see who Wilder faces next year. You know, this year wasn't really a good year for Wilder. I mean, he ended the year with Bermane Stiverne, which was shit. But obviously, Bermane Stiverne was his mandatory by some miracle way, so can't really blame him for that. He started the year good. You know, I thought that was a decent, even though I thought he looked terrible against, you know, Gerard Washington, because I thought Washington was beating him. Despite the fact that I thought he looked terrible in that fight, you know, at least Washington was undefeated. So that was like, you know, it was way better for him facing that guy than that guy he was originally going to face on that day, which was, you know, Andres Wawrinka. I didn't want to see that fight. That would have been a terrible title defense. So that was way better of a title defense for Wilder. So, you know, I just really hope that Wilder finally faces someone. And if there is any American patriotism in me, for once, I hope Wilder could like face someone that I would be happy to make a video saying, yes, you know, this American champion is fighting a top guy, you know. But it's difficult for me to like show that patriotism in me. And of course, since I'm not really that type of a boxing fan to begin with, but I just hope that Wilder, I hope Wilder like just fights. I hope Wilder, and maybe these guys are ducking him. You know, you never know. I just hope. I wish like the boxing was like the UFC. You know, in the UFC, you got a guy named Dana White who basically makes everybody fight each other. All the top guys. If you notice, everybody in the UFC loses. And the reason why they all lose is because Dana White puts them all with the top guys. You know, if you are a fighter in the UFC, you will be found out. You will be found out quick as hell, because Dana White doesn't have his fighters fighting nothing but bums. He puts them in there with top guys. That's the one thing even though I think Dana White can be kind of a scumbag and he kind of takes advantage of his fighters, the one thing I do like about him is he don't play around. Like, he don't cherry pick. He puts his fighters in there with all the top guys. So, but you know, in boxing it's not like that. In boxing it's not like that. I just really don't want to see Wilder in there with the winner. I made a video saying this, but I don't want to see Wilder in there with what's his name? The winner of Dominic Brazil.